welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we're going to bring a couple different found a furniture store in Florida.
Yeah, we're going to have a cool history show today.
It is going to be more historic today. We're going to talk about that business, and then we're going to talk about, we've all seen it when we go over to Salem, where Abraham Lincoln, that was a tavern. We're going to talk about that building.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you found all that. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to Springfield to the Lincoln
Museum?
Yeah.
I haven't been there, but
I can't believe we haven't.
All of my children have been. My mom's taken them. They love it. I think some of the kids have went on a field trip too, but yeah, I've heard it's great. I just haven't made the time to do it myself.
Because it's different. Because like when I was in the 5th grade, we took a 5th grade trip, and we went to see the Lincoln Museum or whatever it was at the time. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing like what it is now.
No, they completely redid it in the 2000s.
He's a great.
I don't know what year exactly, but
his lineage exactly. Where did it go? Is there still? Because they had. Did they have one son that died, or did they ever have a? I can't remember.
I don't know if
Ben Van Heine would know. Ben Van Heine loves Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, I don't know about their descendants.
Their descendants. Hey, Ty, are there any descendants of Abraham Lincoln? I think they had one son that died, but I can't remember if there's descendants of Lincoln now. Wouldn't you like to say Abraham Lincoln?
That was my great-great-grandfather.
Great-great-great-grandfather. That would be super cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Have you looked into your family history? Like, have you dug into... like your lineage?
We have, and I'm not royalty.
No.
But we didn't have slaves either.
Okay.
No reparations up paying.
Well, that's good.
Good. We did. Jim did. He did the Frank. My mother was a Franklin. We've done the Franklins. The Hemp Hills went cold real quick, and he did the early Veen.
Early
Veens. They're German. Hemp Hill, Franklin, German. Hemp Hill, Scottish. We're Scottish German, with some Irish thrown in there is what we found. What'd you find?
A lot of German, and a lot of English. But I've been working on Ancestry.com to do every different little line.
Really?
Oh yeah, and it's fascinating. I've done my mom's side, some of that, and I've done a lot on my dad's side, and yeah. It's once you get on Ancestry, it's like you keep building your family tree, and then like you find like your great-great-grandfather or whatever, and then it says, oh, and here's a hint because somebody else before you has already found his lineage, so here's a hint on who his mom and dad are, and then you check into that, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and I just keep my family tree is huge.
Huh. Nothing interesting though, huh?
Some of it's interesting, but I haven't found anyone famous in it, and that's a little disappointing.
Well, I was expecting to be royalty.
Yeah. What did you find, Ty? No.
He doesn't have any living descendants.
No living descendants.
There are
of
no
Abraham
living descendants of Lincoln. Because did he have like how many children? Did he have like one child?
He had more than one. They all died.
4. 3 of them all died.
Yeah.
3 died.
The
4 kids, 3 died.
lived longer, but he had no known children.
The
So
fourth
Lincoln-
one lived longer, but no known children.
They had 4 children. 3 of them died. 1 lived to be old but didn't have children.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Kind of sad.
It is sad.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very sad.
Yeah.
I love Henry VIII history. I love that time period.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't love Henry VIII.
I don't love Henry VIII.
He was a jerk.
He was a jerk, but
it's very interesting.
It's very interesting
Yeah.
that the king, all the kings of England, the whole entire throne, well, were basically horrible people.
Yeah, and
Kings
they were
that just bad. Just really bad.
There's a lady that does history on
I love it, though.
on Facebook Reels, or she has a TikTok channel, and she goes through all of the wives of Henry and all about Henry VIII and stuff, and it is fascinating.
He is fascinating. He's more fascinating, and I did some history on his family and his sister. Of course, his sister, was on Scotland, was Queen of Scotland, and and then had Mary Queen. I could go on. If you get me talking about it, I could go on about it for days because I love all that matriarchic stuff, But I don't like it like today. They're just whatever they are today. But boy, in the past, I love stuff about William Wallace. I read about William Wallace. That was fascinating, and how they all fought. And
yeah, a lot of history is very interesting if you just read about it, learn about it, and it's not all boring. It's really
Well,
like,
Malia's one
what?
that, Malia introduced me to all the podcasts.
Yes.
So I do a lot of the podcasts. And there's we need to go see that musical on Henry VIII's wives. What's that one called?
I don't know.
About the 6 wives. Is it 6 wives? I can't remember. Anyway, there's a musical out there. It comes to the Fox every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, we should
We
go
need to
do
pay
that.
attention to
That'd
that.
be good.
Because, yeah, so I don't know. You drive by that little building and it's still standing there. There's a marker there. I've never really stopped. But then Marina Lynch Thomas, she did an article on it. So I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's kind of a neat. Mm-hmm. The Halfway Tavern.
Yeah, Halfway Tavern.
Halfway Tavern.
You don't hear about taverns anymore. They're just bars. But I think we should be bringing the word tavern back into use.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is there's really not even a lot of bars anymore if you think about it.
Yeah, no.
Is there really? There's gambling places and a lot of clubs.
Clubs, yeah.
Because I remember a day whenever there were bars downtown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do an episode on past bars.
We should. Yeah,
Write it down in your handy dandy paper.
my handy dandy little notebook here.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat.
Taverns.
Taverns and bars, because they're already rusty. We could probably come up with a lot of fights that happen.
Ooh, that makes a good juicy story.
We do and we
Like
need to
a
find
good
us a good
juice.
murder too. Oh, I also, I'm not for sure, but I remember, and it just hit me. I don't know how I came up with this. I had this memory of on Vincennes Street.
Yeah.
I feel like I may know the house where, but it's gone where Amy Campbell. No, sorry. Who is the other killer?
Elsie Bible?
Elsie Bible. Because when you would go down Vincent Street where Village Green Apartments is at,
Yeah.
and then it kind of goes up on a hill into the bus barns there was a beautiful old, huge Victorian home
No kidding.
that's set up there.
And that's where she lived?
Well, I'm not for sure. I found out it was the man that lived there, later, his name was Fred Bennett. And he sold barber supplies, but there was I remember it because I remember my mom and my Aunt Barb driving up the lane and they got run out, But it was so I'm wondering if maybe that would have been one of the houses where Elsie Bible, because nobody can locate the home that she killed those people in, and that would have been a big old Victorian that a doctor built, and that was one of her first victims. But it's gone now.
Interesting.
But I did Don Thomas, good old Don.
Mm-hmm.
And he called about some people about it. But I remember that big Victorian home being there.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge, humongous big Victorian.
Wow.
It was a beautiful house.
That's neat. I don't know.
It would have been gone. Like I said, it probably was torn down in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Probably. But it was big and beautiful. And but yeah, they kept it. But there's got to be something about that. Like I said, it was right up there. And I don't know why that memory came to me. And Don was in the shop getting his hair cut, and I'm like, I had the strangest. Do you remember it? He was like, oh, yeah, let me find out who that was for you. And it's going to be the best.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Okay. You got an ad for us today?
I do have an ad, and this ad is hysterical.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What do you got?
Let's see if he's pulling it up.
Oh, I love those step stools.
I love them, too, but don't just dream about it. Get one for your house. Costco step stool. You don't find these anymore.
If you do, they're really expensive at the
Yeah.
antique shops, especially if they're in good shape.
Hamilton Manufacturing Corporation in Columbus, Indiana. But look at her. She's just sleeping so good. Because look at her. She can climb up on that thing and do her ironing. She can climb up there and eat her lunch, and she can do that step stool and get in her cabinets. You're tall. You probably don't need a step stool, do you?
No.
I have one, but it's just the one you open up. But this is really cool. Make those dreams of safer, easier, happier homemaking come true. Get yourself a Costco step stool. Rubber treaded steps, swing in, swing out, lock in place. It's a restful seat, 24 inches high, for washing, ironing, and cooking chores. A sturdy, steady, safer 6-leg ladder for hanging curtains. Reaching high shelves, all those reaching and climbing jobs around the house.
She must have been a tiny little thing. She needed to iron her clothes.
Yeah, you're right. Look at her up there. What is she? Oh, yeah, because she's sitting down ironing.
Oh, she's sitting?
She's sitting down with her ironing
okay.
board up there.
All right. Well, maybe she's just smart.
Well, I don't know why you'd sit up there to eat on it. It looks like that. Or is she sewing in that middle one?
Why would you sit and sew like that?
Nope, she's eating lunch.
Okay.
As for model 4D with the tubular steel legs, chromium finish, and easy to clean, Duran upholstery in 6 gay kitchen colors. Available at departments, furniture, and hardware stores everywhere. Guess how much that thing was in 1952?
$15.
$16.95.
So close. I want one of those for Christmas. Dear family, I would take one of those.
Yeah, they have them like you get the model 4-inch with the step stool or the model 4-inch step with the seat.
I want the seat.
I think it's pretty cool.
I love those. I'd take it in red too. I don't know what the other gay colors are, but I like red.
I don't know, but yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I just like it. Don't just dream about it. It's like that poor housewife is sleeping so peacefully because she's got her step stool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was kind of
That's a good one. I love old ads.
I like the
my
old ads too. It's so fun. And this book, I don't even know. Like I said, I've said it was falling apart. What book did we even say this is?
52.
Good Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, from 1952, February. It's got the best ads. I'm telling you, I could just go through it. But like I said before, I mean, it's kind of falling apart on me, and I really love it. I wish I knew what the color. I never did have it with the cover.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you could probably Google that and see what was on the front cover.
Oh, yeah, you could. They actually have a whole database, I think, online of those old ones.
So all I'd have to do is type in Good Housekeeping, February 1952.
Yeah.
Volume 1. It's either 134 or 114.
Ty can probably Google it right now. February 1952 Good Housekeeping cover.
Yeah.
And he'll probably pull it right up.
Yep. Let's see what happens. We're going to let him pull that out, and we're going to take a, well, can you give us a commercial break and pull that up at the same time? Yeah, let's go to the commercial break, and hopefully we'll have the cover.
We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We just had Ty Google the cover photo for Stacey's 1952 Good Housekeeping.
Okay. So this is my book.
Falling apart, no cover.
This is my book, falling apart. Even the back cover's off of it. And I just lost the front. I'm not sure what's happening
here. It's fragile.
It's definitely falling apart on me. But now I'm super jealous because show what the cover of this book's supposed to look like. Look at how cute this is. First, complete cake cookbook book. Annual what's that? You got good eyes. Read it.
Annual report on small colleges. February 1952, 35 cents.
Wow. First complete cake book. Look, I want that cover.
Flip through that and find that cake cookbook.
Well, I guess I have the book.
You have the book. Let's talk about cake for a minute. What?
Oh, yeah, speaking of that, there's a ton.
Let's give a shout out to my mom, see if she can make one of these cakes.
Let's do that.
We'll bring it on air next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes, okay.
We're going to do that, but yeah.
Okay, we'll surprise you.
How cute is that cover?
It's super cute.
Okay,
I'm
here
sorry
we go
you don't
again.
have it.
Huh?
I'm sorry you don't have it.
I am sorry, too. I never did have that one.
Yeah.
I bought them. Remember I told you I bought a bunch of them at auction? Mm-hmm. Now, is that right? Were those Good Housekeeping? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. Back on track. Or as good a track as you and I can be
Yep.
on.
Yep.
I didn't realize, but we had a big furniture factory that opened in Flora in 1928.
Mm-hmm.
It was the employees of the, how was I going to say?
Kuehne.
Kuehne Furniture Company. Here's how this is spelled. Kuehne.
Mm-hmm.
Is that German in itself?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Employees of the Kuehne. It's probably Kuehne.
Kuehne. I think it is. I think I might have talked about it on another episode a little bit. I don't know how in depth we went, but I think it said in that article it was pronounced Kuehne. I think I remember that now.
I think it is Kuehne.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
In the
So
famous words of Celine Dion.
It's all coming back. Yeah, sing it to me. Yeah,
I'll pass.
I love that song, by the way. That's one of my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of my favorite songs that Celine Dion does.
Okay.
I love Celine Dion's music, but I think I don't like watching her sing. I think she's the most unattractive singer there is.
Yeah, I'm not.
She's
a fan.
weird. She's weird moving. I'm a Whitney Houston fan.
Yeah.
I love that elegant, but yeah, I like Celine Dion's music, but it's a whole other story.
She's strange.
She's
strange duck.
Strange. We can say that because I'm pretty sure she's probably not watching.
Yeah, and if
Unless
she
she's a
is
big-
watching, she can write to us and complain.
And Celine Dion, if you're watching our little show here, sorry about you, but you're kind of weird on stage. Call me, I'll give you some pointers.
Yes, Stacey will.
You know I will. Okay, back to reality. Okay, the year was 1928, and a young man of 31 years by the name of Fred Kuehne Jr. had an idea of building a modern furniture factory in Flora.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This idea would materialize into a grand new factory building located on the east edge of Flora. So the east edge of Flora is out by Industrial Park. From where I believe this is at, it's across the street from where Cargill is at. So it's on that south side of the road. And I'm thinking it's kind of like where probably where those storage buildings and stuff are at. This furniture store was huge. I don't ever remember seeing this, so this was before my time.
Yeah, it's way, way back.
This is 1928. This was a 4-acre site with a 60 by 600 foot building of brick, steel, and concrete, having a capacity for 200 workers. I'd say that's pretty good.
Definitely a big factory for the time.
Yep. Although the capacity of 200 workers was never reached, the factory did flourish for about 8 years, providing employment for many hardworking individuals. Boy, it doesn't seem bad. That big old building built for only 8 years. It's kind of weird that it didn't.
I know, and there was like another one we talked about in Clay City, and also the Clay City Glass Company. All of these were like businesses, but they were like 5 years
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah.
Like they had all this investment in setting up, and then they didn't. I don't know.
It is weird. I wonder if it makes you wonder if just
Times were tough. I mean, it was the Depression.
They just go back. Yeah.
The Depression hit, so.
Now, this is the total cost of the building and equipment was approximately $150,000.
Wowzers.
Hey, Ty, $150,000 in 1928 is equivalent to what now? I bet it's
$5 million.
$5 million. I'm going to go with 3.5.
Okay.
We're going to shoot it that way. $5 million, 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
You said 1920?
1928. Yeah. 150,000. 3.5 million, you say 5. Let's see what he says. Of which 30,000 was given by the Flora people under the leadership of the Flora Commercial Club. Now, I read that, and I've never heard of the Flora Commercial Club.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, they were kind of like a little bit similar to the Chamber of Commerce, I think, where they did things to help other businesses. Yes?
2.7 million.
2.7 million. You were closer.
But I was over.
We both went over.
Womp. We wouldn't be very good on the prices, right?
We would not be good on the prices right.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money. Okay. The Flora citizens were immensely pleased with their latest addition to their industrial life, but attitudes would eventually change toward the prairie state of the Kuehne Furniture Company, as you will see later in this article. First, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Fred Kuehne Jr. He was referred to as the manufacturing genius of two furniture plants in southern Illinois, one in Trenton and the other in the fine city of Flora. So I've got a picture of Mr. Kuehne. He's a nice young-looking fella.
Okay.
This is who we're talking about.
Okay.
This is Fred Kuehne Jr.
Okay.
Born in Chicago in 1897, he married Vivian Pratt in 1920. And to this union was born a son and a daughter, Fred and Jean. He graduated from Northwestern University in mechanical engineering and also took an advanced course in the Lewis Institute in Mechanical Engineering and also took an advanced course in the Lewis Institute of Technology, specializing in wood industry. With this advanced education, one would have thought this to be the pattern to operating a long and successful business, but in reality, it would last less than 10 years. So this kid's pretty smart.
Yep.
Born in Chicago. So it's another one of those funny things that's like, it always makes you wonder. So you're born in Chicago.
How'd you end up
How'd
here?
you get down to Flora, Illinois?
Yeah. Why did you come here to start a furniture factory and Trenton?
Flora and Trenton, because Trenton's over by Belleville, over that area. We all pass Trenton every time. I thought that was kind of a weird
Yeah.
between the two. Fred Kuehne and his family lived in a fine brick home on East 3rd Street in Flora. You know the house? Oh, that's what I wanted to do yesterday, was take a picture. The brick house that's on 3rd Street and North Mill, the one that you hardly ever see any activity at, that's kind of like above got that really round front door in the front.
Yes.
That's where he lived.
Dr. Kumar lived there?
Dr. Kumar lived
Back
there.
behind the
Yeah.
Legion 2 blocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That big brick house that you don't hardly see any activity in, that's the house that Mr. Kuehne built.
Okay.
And they lived in that big brick house.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something. How is it I forget to do that?
Well, I don't know, but we're getting older and it's harder to remember everything that we have to do because we're so busy.
It is kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, they lived in the house where I'm assuming Dr. Kumar still lives there.
I think so.
That's probably why you never see any activity, because
There may be a picture online, Ty, if you Google the
Yeah.
address.
I love that house.
It would be the
Yeah.
East. It would be East 3rd, but I don't know the number.
I don't
so.
know the number, but everybody knows the house I'm talking about. And it's got that cute little above that little window that's almost like looks like a little baby would walk out on, but it's just a window. I've always loved that house. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what kind of house you call that.
I don't know. I don't know that style of architecture very well.
But I do. I've always been inquired about that. That's one of those houses we probably couldn't do a story on, because I don't know how open Dr. Kumar would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're kind of doing it now. I mean, we're talking about the family that built it.
Yeah.
So
that it was. Here we go. If you pull that up, Ty, let me know. I was told the story, and this is Rena Lentz's words. One Flora resident who remembers Mr. Kuehne's daughter, Jean, being in his class.
wait a minute. They named her Jean Kuehne.
Jean Kuehne.
Do you think we're saying the last name wrong? Okay. Keep going.
Well, now that you say that, I never even put that.
Jean Kuehne.
Jean King, Billie Jean King. Well, that they did it kind of, but at least it was Billy King.
I don't know.
Hey, it's better than what is it?
Pauline Esther and Esther Pauline.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jean being in the class in grade school around 1936. It was Valentine's Day, and the students would bring cards to school for their favorite friends. This was back in the day where you only gave Valentine's to your favorite friends.
Yep. Back when kids were tough and didn't get their feelings hurt.
Exactly. Back when we had
Grit and gumption.
But there was, and usually only 5 or so in number would be their good friends. But there was one who brought a card for every kid in the class, Jean Kuehne. He remembers that they were all impressed with this and thought how rich she must be to be able to buy for every child. How sweet was she?
She was sweet. I mean, that was very kind. I
That
like
was
Gene
fine.
King.
I like Gene King. If that, it's got to
We
be
don't
right. Who knows? I'm losing it. Okay. Mr. Keene reportedly paid his workers $10 per week if they were single and $15 if they were married.
Okay, I see how he's doing it, but it's not quite right either.
Yeah. 15 if they were married, regardless of the amount of work to be done.
Yeah.
So, okay, so they're getting paid no matter what. But
Do you think this has anything to do with the reason that he didn't stay in business any longer than 10 years?
well, probably.
His business sense seems to be a little lacking.
It's like, oh, so I'm going to pay you $10 per week if you're single, 15 if you're married, regardless of the work that's being done. So this guy was probably one of those that was highly intelligent, but the common sense side of things.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, if I worked there, I'd be like, yeah, I'm married. Here's my ring. I'm wearing a ring. I'm married.
Yeah.
Her name's Betty, and she is 27. And
Her name is Babette.
Yeah. I mean, I would make up a whole story if I was that guy. Like, yeah, I work here, and yeah, I'm married. I mean, how is the boss going to know?
Well, how would they know?
It's Flora. People know, I guess. But
I guess. In the mid-30s, the employees would unionize, but Keene refused to recognize or acknowledge the union.
uh-oh.
Whoa, now that's where he's in trouble.
Now he's getting himself in trouble. So
Yeah,
again,
that's where he's
common
in trouble.
sense may be lacking a little bit in
Yeah.
Keene.
A long, bitter strike would ensure, which would eventually lead to the closing of the Flora plant, officially in April of 1937.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. But he built this building. Why is that brick building gone? You know it would have had to it'd still be standing today.
The factory was brick?
The factory was brick. Yeah. The factory did because it was like this was a foresight blah 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 building of brick, steel, and concrete. And they built it in when?
1928?
1928, and it's only what? 1937.
Wonder if it became something else for a while.
I don't know, but it's gone now. But if that thing was built of brick, concrete, and steel,
Yeah.
well,
What a shame.
what a shame. What time is it? Oh, I need to take a commercial break before I finish Mr. Keene.
Okay. We'll be right
We'll
back.
be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are talking about the Keene Furniture Factory. And Ty, let's show a picture of the building. This building would be located across from where Cargill is at, there in Industrial Park. I'm assuming it's probably right where those storage sheds and stuff are at right now. And it employed quite a few people. But yeah, that building, that's a big old, that building was 600 square foot and it had 200 people that could possibly work in it. But I wonder what the capacity never
But he
did.
made them all mad when he wouldn't go along with
When
their
he didn't go along with their union.
plans.
Yeah, so they
And then he closed.
The union, and then he closed. And so they were only there for 9 years. Okay. While on strike, the employees set up a picket line and established a camp across the road where Cargill is located.
Mm-hmm.
By this time, Kuehne also had a furniture plant in Mattoon. So Kuehne's in Flora, he's in Trenton, and now he's got one in Mattoon.
Mm-hmm.
And many Flora employees feared the Mattoon employees would come to Flora in an effort to break up the strike.
Mm-hmm.
So Flora is striking, but Mattoon is not.
Mm-hmm.
I was told that at least one employee from the Flora plant wore a football helmet while working the picket line to avoid being injured in the event of a confrontation with outsiders.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
so this is kind of serious business
Yeah.
right now. After the closing of the Flora plant, all equipment was moved from here to the Mattoon plant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was reported that the Mattoon employees were given a 10% increase in their wages. Sometimes you bite the hand that feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the union can be good and the union can be bad.
Yeah, there's pros and cons.
There's pros and
but
cons.
He did that. He gave them a raise in Mattoon just to be a jerk.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not sure I'm a fan.
You know what Fred Kuehne and his family also moved to Mattoon, where he built a very large house across from what is now Lakeland College, acquiring a considerable estate.
There is an old house that's still there.
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm not really familiar with
Mm-hmm.
Lakeland. Yeah. Bill Etchison of Flora told me he still has a breakfast table and chair set built at the Kuehne Furniture Plant in Flora. There are probably several such sets still existing in the area, perhaps the original unknown to the owners. The moving of this plant left the city of Flora in a bind, though only briefly, as the building would soon become the home of Halliburton.
Ah,
The building has since been torn down.
okay. So it was where Halliburton was.
So it was where Halliburton's at. Well,
Okay.
was at now.
Uh-huh.
And then once Halliburton left, then it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That was an interesting
Very
story.
interesting.
Yeah, I thought that
Mhm.
was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
I was wanting to see if there was anything else in that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I like to keep track of my back then in Sailor Springs. I have to write, I'll tell you what, we're constantly getting stuff, and I have to write on everything on the front, otherwise everything starts looking the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting story. I think we may have mentioned something about it, but I don't think we dove that deep into it, but it is kind of interesting.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
know.
Very good.
Now let's get back to what we talked about at the beginning.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. Bring on this story because I don't know this story. I
Yeah,
want to hear it.
I'm excited about this story too.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway Tavern, tall tale, or truth. Okay, so this, you guys, every time you go on Route 50 and you're heading west, we all travel over to Salem, we all travel to St. Louis. It's that, is it before or after that veterinary place? Before you get to Iuka?
I think it's if you're headed towards Salem, I think it's after.
Okay, I think you're right. Yeah, it's that old building. You can tell it's historic.
Let's see a picture of it real quick.
Well, I only have the old. Yeah, let's show these are old pictures.
Okay.
That is these are two different views of and they called it the Halfway Tavern.
Uh-huh.
So, and then show the other picture I said, and it might be able to get but it's not, it doesn't look like what it used to
Yeah.
look. Because only part of the building's there. Go back to the top picture. I think that's what you see now is this right here. That little side part is not there anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can pull up another picture of it while I start reading.
Yeah.
Halfway Tavern, tale or truth? Oh yeah, let's try this
Ty,
one.
if you just Google Halfway Tavern State Historic Site, there is a bunch of photos online, and you could pull up the sign and some photos of what it looks
Ooh.
like now.
Nice.
Yep.
You do that and I'll start reading. We all love a good story. Yes, we do. especially when it pertains to our area. But sometimes stories and events become embellished or changed in facts over the years. And this is, once again, Rena's words. When I was a child, my parents took my siblings and me to see the historic Halfway Tavern near Iuka. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's almost like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you can pull that one up. That would be a great picture while we're talking. Everybody, oh, look at that. That's such a
when
cool
you guys
building.
see this, you're going to recognize it.
So, yeah,
a little
so that
bit
one,
better.
see that one on the right's still there from the old picture, but that's all.
This is what it looks like now.
It's fantastic.
And this is a state historic site, and there's a historical marker there.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, good picture. Okay.
Great, thank
you.
you. The Halfway Tavern near Iuka, where Abe Lincoln was said to have spent some time and perhaps even slept there. Even as a child, I remember being awestruck by this place. Imagine Abraham Lincoln having been there. We do believe this might have been very true parts of the story, but the parts of the story does have holes in it. For you who have no idea of the place I am speaking about, this was a 2-story inn erected on the St. Louis Vincennes Trail at approximately halfway point between the two cities. Said to have been built around 1818.
I believe it. I mean, just looking at that, I mean, it is really old.
But look how who's preserved this?
Well, it's a state. It's a state, I believe, since it's considered a state historic site. I think the state is the one that owns it and has done some work and boarded up the windows. And I don't know if there's ever tours in there. I don't know.
There should be.
What do you think the inside's like?
I don't know, but I want to go in there and find out.
Yeah.
So we got to take in consideration this was said to be built in 1818. That's the year Illinois became a state.
Whoa.
1818.
And you have to think too, Flora wasn't a town until 1854.
Right.
I don't know about what time Salem was established. I'm going to guess around the same time period.
Probably.
So this was on the road, it was probably just a very small dirt road that went through, and for whatever reason there was a halfway tavern there.
Yeah.
You'd stop and have a drink.
Yeah. Maybe you are thinking, what difference does it make exactly when it was built? Well, most agree it was early, but was it actually an inn or simply a private dwelling?
It looks like an inn.
I think it's an inn. Because it looks
Who
like
would make a private dwelling that look like that?
Yeah, I think it's an inn. Mr. George Ross, a columnist with the Salem Times-Commoner, took it upon himself in 1992 to research the history of the site and building, and his findings were most interesting.
Okay.
The land records for the site were examined and revealed this land had remained unsold, part of public domain, until purchased by Matthew Thompson of Fayette County in 1838. In 1843, records show Thompson sold it to Thomas Middleton, who was a doctor and minister. In 1851, Thomas Middleton sold the property to his son, William E. Middleton. It is possible that one of the Middleton gentlemen could have built the old log structure later known as the Halfway Tavern or Inn, but no mention of either being an innkeeper is found in 1840, 1850, or 1860 census records. Mr. Ross also pointed out another hole in the story. Even in the early 1800s, it was necessary for the owner to obtain a license in order to operate a tavern in Marion County. Now, see, I find that interesting.
Yeah.
That you had to have a license back in the 1800s?
Guess so.
No such license insurance was found when the Marion County Commissioner's records for the years from 1823 to 1834 were examined by Mr. Ross.
So they're saying there was not an inn and it was not a tavern.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there would be a paper trail of that, and they would have been listed in the census as a innkeeper.
I don't know, because you're talking
Maybe not. I mean, maybe
1818.
maybe whoever was in charge of the record keeping was a little lax in their job.
Yeah, how much did they keep records in 1818?
They did, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Several avenues of research were scrutinized for that time period, such as maps, documents, and stagecoach schedules, with no references to the halfway house being found. Other county taverns located on the St. Louis-Vincennes Trail were all mentioned from time to time, but not so the halfway house. Two popular Marion County histories, Brian McDonough, 1881, and Brinkerhoff, 1909, also failed to mention the Halfway Tavern, although both had chapters in their writings on Iuka Township, where the inn is located. This might lead one to believe they held some doubt as to the authenticity.
They didn't believe it was authentic?
Apparently, they didn't believe that it was they didn't believe it was an inn.
They just thought it was someone's house.
They just probably thought it was somebody's house.
Maybe it was somebody's house and an inn, and
Yeah,
they
but-
just didn't feel like they needed to advertise it was an inn.
Yeah, I mean, they called it the old stagecoach stand. I mean, there's a big Abe Lincoln, and all travelers stopped here.
I'm going to go with that.
Even Captain George Rogers Clark in 1779.
Of course, he came right
Yeah,
through.
he came right through.
They were all there.
They were all there. We're deep.
We're true
We are
historians.
true historians.
We don't have any proof.
We are history
just-
from the heart. we are wishing historians. We wish it to be.
It is.
And
So
That's exactly.
yeah,
We're going there.
you can make your own decision on that. But I like to believe that Abraham Lincoln stopped there. That doesn't hurt anybody if I believe that.
It's happening. Well, what's that plaque say?
Yeah, this is the
Look at
historic
this,
marker.
because it's there right now, right?
Yeah, it's there. So if you're on Route 50 between Salem, Illinois and Flora, Illinois, you can stop
Yeah.
at this historic marker. Halfway Tavern in 1779, George Rogers Clark led his army from Kaskaskia through this area to Vincennes, where they captured Fort Sackville from the British. In 1818, there were several taverns in this section of Vincennes St. Louis Trail. Traditionally, the log building to the east was an early haven for travelers. So no mention of Lincoln here, but it is 100% proven that George Rogers Clark did go through
Yes.
this area in that year. We have a statue of George Rogers Clark here in Flora, and that part is all for real.
Yes.
But this sign was erected by the Federated Women's Clubs of Marion County and the Illinois State Historical Society, 1964.
Yep. It's real.
It's real.
We don't care what somebody lost the paperwork on some
Yeah,
things.
George Rogers Clark was there, and
Yeah.
quite possibly Abraham Lincoln.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a quick break and finish the rest of our story on the Halfway Tavern, Tall Tale or Truth. And Beth and I say, Truth. We'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Jimmy ordered lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, Jimmy ordered guns too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine, and we are finishing up our little story on the Halfway Tavern. Tale or truth? Beth and I think it's all true because that's the way we deem it, so it is so.
It is so.
Okay. The early word of mouth included the story of how John Middleton had erected the inn in 1818 to provide food and shelter for travelers who journeyed that way by stage or horseback. Other stories told how George Rogers Clark and his men, had traveled near there on their way to capture Fort Sackville in 1779, and even stated Abraham Lincoln stayed there as a young attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I believe history showed us that Clark probably did travel the same trail on which the inn was built, and perhaps Lincoln did stay in the building at some point in his journeys in Illinois. But whether it was an inn or simply a private dwelling, I am not sure. The structure had undergone several changes over the years. In the 1920s, Charles H. Neff, who then owned the land and building, tried unsuccessfully to sell the premises to the state as a historical site. In the 1930s, he decided to rehabilitate the old structure. Well, God love him.
Yeah.
Good for you. The lean-to shed attached to the two-story main structure was removed. See, remember that first picture I showed you? It was just the lean-to. Over the years, so many changes were made that one had a problem with determining what the original building entailed.
Oh.
The sign many of us were familiar with seeing on the building was the work of owner C.H. Neff. It read as follows: part of Old Halfway Tavern, Vincent, St. Louis, Old Stagecoach Stand, 1818 to 1863. Abe Lincoln and all travelers stopped here. First trail across Illinois used by Captain George Rogers Clark in 1779. Title to the site fell to Mr. Neff's daughter after his death, but she showed little interest in the property, so the story goes. Illinois observed a sesquicentennial in 1968, and the committee looking for meaningful commemorative projects were attracted to the halfway house through much negotiation. The state of Illinois finally appropriated $60,000 in 1972 to renovate the old structure.
Well, good.
Good. The old halfway house was completely demolished and a so-called replica erected.
What? They tore the old one down and made a replica?
Apparently.
I'm suddenly so disappointed.
Well, yeah, considering they tore that old building down and then made a replica, then whenever the historic depot, it has to be exactly like it was, so then you spend $100,000 on.
All right, keep going.
And yeah.
Let's see, what did they do after the replica? So that one I showed you that was up, that Ty found, is a replica?
That must be a replica. Bearing no resemblance to the original in many's opinion. I have heard that no attempt was made to salvage any portion of the original logs and such.
Well, there's the state for you.
There is other evidence uncovered by the research of George Ross, which disproves many of the claims about the halfway house, but space is limited. Such a shame that the log structure wasn't renovated and kept as a tourist attraction regardless of its origin. It was indeed a very interesting historic building, gone forever. The replica has fallen into despair in recent years, and the site is believed to be presently under the jurisdiction of the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency. Whether history or legend, this writer feels the old halfway tavern or inn deserves to be remembered. I agree, Rena Lance.
I agree too, and I'm saddened to know that that is a replica, and the inside is probably nothing. There's no initials carved in the walls or nothing. No real history there.
Well, everything could have been taken care of because you go to the log cabin days.
Oh yeah,
and those are all original.
Oh yeah.
Do you know much about the log cabins?
No, we're covering that this fall.
We're gonna
stay tuned.
Yeah, because I want to, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures last year.
I love going in there. So do you know the lady that owns those log cabins?
Not yet.
We need to find her because we need to go in sometime and take pictures while nobody's there. No vendors. I love that place. I think that's the coolest thing ever, that log cabin days.
Yes, I do too.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to go with its truth, but I did not realize that it was a replica.
Yeah, I'm a little sad about that.
But it is kind of weird, though. But if you think of it, it's weird that it is a replica. For instance, like I was saying a minute ago, whenever the depot was being redone, the state was, and that was just what? That's only been 30 years, whatever, since they've been and the state was like, oh no, it's got to be exactly like it was, so no modern windows, they got to be wooden, and then 20 years later they're rotting out and now they're being replaced again.
Yeah.
But now they've changed their mind. But I find that interesting, though, that they would take this
building. It was just a different time period.
Yeah.
The state was like, it's cheaper to make a replica.
Yeah. Now we don't really want to go there now.
No.
At least we have a thought of it.
But whether or not it was an inn, I don't think it was an inn, and I don't think it was a private residence. I think it was an Airbnb.
I think it was the first Airbnb.
It was the first Airbnb. They lived there. They kind of maybe lived in one area of it, and then they also rented out part of it.
Yeah.
So technically, it was like a little bit of both.
When we did what was was it the banker or the bunker house over in Clay City? I think it's the bunker. A boarding house, kind of like. For like people would stop by. It would have been like you're talking like that's literally slap dab the middle between. I didn't realize that was the actual area that was slap dab between St. Louis and Vincennes, which is kind of cool to know.
Yeah.
That's the middle point.
Right.
We are definitely middle America.
We are.
It does seem that way.
Right in the middle.
Thank you, Ford Town.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think it's kind of it's neat to have. At least we have a replica. At least they just didn't tear it down and it's gone and we never knew about it.
I don't think we're in the middle exactly geographically, but I think we were population wise.
Population wise, we were. No, we're off to the east a little bit. Yeah. Because where is it that like you could be in? If you're like in one area, you're like in 4 different states.
Like,
what is that? Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Like see 7 states atop Lookout Mountain?
Yeah, but there's something
Chattanooga?
like, there's something, not there, but there's like somewhere, gosh, where was that at?
The Hoover Dam?
No, I wasn't there, but it's like if you're like it's like corner, like it's some sort of weird, like one town's got like 3 different states or something. They're all like weird. Connected.
Like Kansas City, Missouri is like Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri?
The 4 corners.
What, the 4 corners?
New Mexico, Utah, Colorado.
Yeah, and isn't it like, is it like one point?
Yeah, 1 point you can be in all 4 states.
Okay, it's Utah, Arizona, California. What'd you say? New Mexico?
New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Utah. If you stand like in this one spot. Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not
you're
California.
like in 4 states. I knew that like they all like just peaked at this one place.
Yeah, that would be cool. I've not been there.
Yeah.
Not been there, but I'm putting that on my list.
I'll put it on he's going to look at, he's going to look it up right now.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
here we
throw
go.
this up because we got a little bit of time left. Yeah, seriously, this is super cool, you guys.
Yeah, I've seen this on
Yeah,
in
that's
pictures.
it.
Yeah. So you can stand there and be in 4 different states.
Yeah.
That's neat how they've done the concrete work there.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty
Very
cool.
neat.
So that's where 4 states connect.
Neat.
Now, who took the time to figure that out?
Some surveyor from way back when.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to end on
a quote. Famous quote, inspirational quote.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for us?
Here we go, by Peter Ralston. I just opened this one up. By Peter Ralston. Positive or negative, the beliefs we identify with will result in any number of effects that will dominate and shape our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Positive or negative, whichever way you're feeling it. You're
Yep.
energy.
I vote for positive.
Always
It'll dominate
positive.
your life, whatever you choose to believe in. So
Yeah, well,
be
we have
positive.
a couple minutes, Beth. You want to tell them where they can find us?
Absolutely. So we are on Channel 100, Catch TV, Wabash Television, daily at 11 a.m. Our new episodes air on Thursdays and Fridays. And all of our episodes are also on YouTube. So if you have missed something on Channel 100 and you want to go back and watch another episode, or if you don't live in our viewing area, you can find every episode on our YouTube channel, which is called By the Way with Beth and Stacey. One shortcut is just when you go to YouTube, just type in Beth and Stacey. You don't even have to type in By the Way with Beth and Stacey.
You don't?
You can just type in Beth and Stacey, and
When did that
boom,
happen?
we pop up. I don't know. And,
Because we're getting so famous?
and yes, and then you click on our channel, and you can see all of our videos are there.
And how many episodes have we done now?
I lost count, but it is well over 100.
Yeah, Trey.
Trey?
Ty?
Ty?
Yeah, I'm used to screaming Trey at the church.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting fact. Let's see. What episode, how many have we done now?
You have 123 episodes.
123
What?
episodes. Holy moly.
Holy moly, 123.
So,
I think
yeah.
that deserves a cake.
Yeah, maybe
From
next
your mom.
125. We'll have her do one of those cakes from Good Housekeeping for
That's-
episode 1.
Past that too, because we have.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we're actually more than that because we have some recorded that we haven't counted yet. So we are.
It just keeps getting better and better every day.
we're growing. But anyway, you can also find us on Facebook, By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Like and follow us there. Sometimes we share our shows on Facebook as well. And you can always reach us by email at bytheway@gmail.com. And is there anything else?
I think that's it, doll. We're done.
I think that's it. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.